We've got Calgary taking on Minnesota next game, 11-12. We've got Minnesota minus 135, home favorite. The total 5.5, shaded to the under here in this game. Minnesota, give them credit. It was a pretty solid road trip for this hockey team just recently. Really well done by them. But again, here we go. A little bit of a tricky spot, a little bit of a tough spot. Home off that road trip, laying that price at home. And I'm always weary laying that price at home with Minnesota. This is not a terrible price. This is not the minus 170 or 60 or 80 that we sometimes see Minnesota laying at home, but it's, minus 130, minus 135 at home for this Minnesota team, in a little bit of a tricky situation here, coming off that 3-game California swing where they won the last 2 games of that road trip, both of them in overtime against San Jose and Anaheim to wrap it up. Starting to score goals a little bit more. That's certainly a positive for them, but now you're back home against a Calgary team that has played better for the most part on the road this year. Their road record, Calgary, 8-6. Their home record, just 8-8. So that tells you that Calgary's been a solid team on the road. It's a situation where Calgary just seems to be, I don't know, a little bit more comfortable playing on the road. They buy into a little bit better defensive play away from home as well, this Calgary team, and it's worked for them. And Calgary went through a slump, no question. Calgary was not playing good. Other than a 3-0 win against Arizona, they had lost to Toronto, Edmonton, and Philly, all at home, and bad losses. They didn't look good in any of those games. Then they should have beat another team that should have beat Toronto, just like Edmonton the other night. Calgary absolutely should have beat Toronto last week. They lost 2-1 in a shootout, totally dominated the Leafs, but Freddie Anderson did what he's done a lot this year, steal a game. And then they followed that up with 2 very good efforts in a row after that tough shootout loss where they deserved 2 points, didn't get it. They beat Montreal in overtime 3-2, beat Vancouver at home 4-2. So we'll see how they fare here. Weird schedule. They go on the road, go back home, and now they're back on the road again. That's a little concern, but at this point in time, I'm going to lean to the Calgary side nevertheless, because I think they're in a little bit of a superior situation here in this game. We got Dana Lane wanting to talk Wild and Flames here in this game. Dana, what are you looking at?
Well, here we go again, Ian. We love going head to head. I think look, this Wild team they won at 10 out of 15 games. The win against San Jose the other night was extremely impressive, and the reason why I think that is, I actually thought San Jose was in a good spot here. I thought Minnesota traveling across country, there was almost a 60-degree temperature change between St. Paul and Los Angeles, and then 40 between St. Paul and San Jose. They just came off a grueling win against the Anaheim Ducks, and I thought, well, you know what? I think their bellies are going to be a little full going up to San Jose, a team that no longer is the best defensive team in hockey. And lo and behold, they got out of San Jose with a victory, and I think that says a lot about this Wild team. Look, goaltending wise, Devin Dubnyk is. I saw a report yesterday that said that Dubnyk is playing Vezina-like hockey right now, and that kind of piqued my interest because I guess I really wasn't aware of the run that he was on. But even though he's 12-8-2 on the season, he is 8-2-1 in his last 11. He has 3 shutouts. He has 3 other games where he's allowed 2 or less goals. That to me is that to me is fantastic. I was actually unaware that he had such a run on a run like that. They have the Wild's got 6 points, or it has points in 6 straight games at XL Energy Center. Not since early November against Chicago have they failed to get a point at home. I think that they have tremendous consistency at XL, and they have showed that over the last few games. I think they're feeling really good about themselves, and I don't mind putting a little money on a team at home that I think is really at their peak of where they've been mentally all season. So I have no problem laying $1.29, $1.30 on this. I really like Minnesota in this game over Calgary.
All right, Minnesota. That's all right. We go head to head. It's a long season. There's a lot of games we're going to be against each other sometimes. Minnesota for Dana Lane in this game. And as for our good friend in the chat there who's causing a fervor and deciding to be a racist bastard, get the fuck out of here. All right, reach for the stars. Reach for my fist. How about that? Reach for that. Get out of here. It's enough of that crap.
Wow. Ian.
All right. So yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. We don't stand that crap in the SBR chat. So it's on you go. Find better things to do. You're the one actually jumping in here watching us. So who's the jag off, huh? Really? Anyway, on we go. Minnesota Wild for Dana Lane. Alex B. Smith, you're wanting to talk Wild hockey? What a shock! He's in
Yep.
St. Paul. Of course he does. So, Alex, what are you looking at here?
Yeah, it's going to be a gigantic shock for the Wild as they come back home. Dana, as you mentioned about the nice weather in California, it is 8 degrees right now in St. Paul here. So, yeah, not really fun to come back to that. But with that being said, they had a couple of really good wins. That Wild game with San Jose was really weird, honestly. I mean, I thought the Wild were going to skate away, but they had a 3-0 lead, then they blew it, and then they needed to win in overtime. Nino Niederreiter had a nice goal in the extra frame to get that 4-3 win. So now they come home. Ian, we always talk about fading teams coming home off of a long road trip, and usually the case is, especially if they struggle. But I think the fact that they played 3 really tough games in a row, even though they won 2 of the 3, I think that still makes a difference as far as like I said, they come home, bellies are a little bit full, they're feeling a little confident about themselves, but they're back into familiar digs. I think that's a time where we could also see a bit of a slow start. And that's where I'm looking at Calgary here at this plus price. They've won 4 of the last 5 meetings against the Wild. They've won 5 of their last 8, on the road against Western Conference opponents. I think that they'll be able to take advantage. If they can score early, they should be able to kind of keep the pace, slow things down a little bit, and make things a little bit tougher for the Wild. I think whoever scores first in this game will win. And I got a feeling that could be Calgary. They could jump on there early. So I like the Flames. Get it plus $1.15.
What's funny about this game is that Minnesota played LA, and LA was at the end of the first game home off that road trip, and Minnesota didn't take advantage. First game home off that road trip, still won the hockey game. LA beating Minnesota that night. Now the shoe's on the other foot. Minnesota's in that spot. First game home off the long road trip, playing well. Do they have an LA performance in them tonight? Still be able to win, even though there's a little bit of a negative spot for them. We'll see. But we got 2 on Calgary, 1 on Minnesota, which means it's guaranteed win night on the Ice Guys with this Wild Flames game. Someone's going to win. Someone's cashing a ticket here, so we'll see who it is.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.